Om Sai Ram. This is a reading of the Vishnu Sahasranama, and this is being read from a book by Swami Chinmayananda called 1,000 Ways to the Transcendental. In each chapter, I'll be reading 50 of these glorious names of the Lord Vishnu, along with possible meanings and implications of each name. Number 401, Veera, the valiant, one who by his prowess creates the fear in the minds of the Rakshasas. Number 402, Shaktimatam Shrestha, the best among those who have power. All powers that are available have been classified under three types: the power of knowledge, that is Jnana Shakti, the power of desire, Icha Shakti, and the power of action, Kriya Shakti. All these powers are expressions of the self in the intellect, in the subconscious mind, and in the physical body, respectively. Naturally, the self is the best among all other kinds of powers, inasmuch as all powers are expressions of this great self. Number 403, Dharma. This term is used in Hinduism in thousands of different shades, that to the early student, the meaning of this term is lost in confusion. Dharma of a thing is that because of which the thing is, without which the thing is not. This term, Dharma, has therefore been translated as the law of being. The Dharma of the sun is light. The Dharma of fire is heat. The Dharma of sugar is sweetness. What then is the Dharma of the individual? The essential Dharma of the individual can only be the self, because without the self, the individual cannot exist, and the individual's expressions, physical, mental, and intellectual, are all expressions of the self through the equipment in him. Thus, Dharma means the one self in all individuals. Number 404, Dharma Vid Uttama, one who is the highest among men of realization. All those who know the reality are knowers of this self. Naturally, therefore, the self is the best knower among all knowers of the self. Number 405, Vaikuntha, one who prevents men from going astray into wrong paths. In the Mahabharata, it is mentioned, I united the earth with water, space with air, and air with fire. Hence, the name Vaikuntha has come to me. Number 406, Purusha, one who dwells in all bodies. In the Brihadranyak Upanishad, it is said, because he as the first of all of them consumed by fire all sins, therefore he is called Purusha. In short, he is the one self which thrills all living creatures everywhere at all times. Number 407, Prana, one who in the form of prana propels all sense organs to act in their appointed fields. It is Lord Vishnu that activates the body as the five pranas, as is said in the Vishnu Purana. As prana, he causes movements. Number 408, Pranada. This can mean one who gives prana, or as one who takes away prana, because the root da has both the meanings to give and to break. Therefore, Vishnu is the supreme who gives prana to all creatures in the beginning of creation, and he alone is again the one who destroys all pranas at the time of dissolution. Number 409, Pranava, that which is praised or adored even by the gods. There is a declaration by Sanat Kumara, and it goes like this: because it is being worshipped and adored by the gods, the self is called Pranava. This great reality is indicated in the Vedas by the symbol Om, and therefore Omkara is called Pranava. Thus, the Supreme Self, Omkara, is Vishnu. Number 410, Prithu, the expanded, he whose expanse is expressed as the world of infinite forms. In short, he who is all-pervasive. Looking at the world through the Puranas, it suggests the one who is born as King Prithu, the son of King Veena, to bring prosperity to the country, is Lord Narayana. Number 411, Hiranyagarbha. It is a term used in the Vedanta for the Creator. He is the expression of the creative urge of the Lord Narayana. The term thereby suggests that the entire creative power of the Creator is but the expression of the Self, that is, Narayana. Number 412, Shatrugana, the destroyer of the enemies. The Lord is the one who annihilates all the enemies of the gods, meaning He is the one who destroys all the negative tendencies in all serious seekers totally devoted to Him. Number 413, Vyapta, the pervader. The effects can never remain without the cause. The cause is concurrent and inherent in its effects, and thus the world that has risen from the infinite should be pervaded by the infinite. He who thus pervades everything is Narayana. Number 414, Vayu, one who in the form of the atmospheric air sustains all life everywhere. He is not the air, but He is the life-giving power in the air. Number 415, Adokshaja. The Mahabharata says, "At no time does my vitality flow downwards, and hence I am called Adokshaja." The term can also mean one who is not available for the powers of the sense organs to perceive. Or it can also mean he who remains under both the atmosphere and the earth as the supporter of the entire universe. Number 416, Ritu, the Lord of Time who governs the seasons. Number 417, Sudarshana, one who is easy to be perceived if the seeker has sufficient devotion, or he whose meeting is auspicious inasmuch as it removes the seeker's worldly worries. Number 418, Kala, one who measures the merits and defects in each individual and who doles out the appropriate results. The Bhagavad Gita says, "I am the time of counting." Kala is also the name of the Lord of Death, and in this sense it can mean the Lord who is death or annihilation personified to His enemies. Number 419, Paramashti, one who is centered in His own infinite glory, or it can also mean one who is readily available for experience in the supreme cave of the heart. Number 420, Parigraha, the receiver, he who receives from his devotees even things as insignificant as a leaf or a flower with utmost satisfaction. Some commentators stretch the suggestion of the word and find a meaning in this term as one who has been accepted as the sole refuge by all devotees. Number 421, Ugra, the terrible, the one who gives fear to those who are diabolically evil, or as the Upanishad declares, for fear of him the fire burns, for fear of him shines the sun, for fear of him Indra, Vayu and death proceed with their respective functions. Therefore, he is the terrible. Number 422, Samvatsara, the year, which is the abode of all living creatures. Time is spread in which creatures exist and gather their experiences. Number 423, Daksha, the smart, one who undertakes the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the whole cosmos with ease and efficiency, diligence, and promptitude. Number 424, Vishrama, the resting place, the quiet, that state wherein people who suffer in samsara can discover perfect rest and quietude, is the consciousness supreme, Sri Narayana. Number 425, Vishwadakshina, the most skillful and efficient. All efficiency and skill that we find in the universe among the dynamic living creatures are all His expressions alone, and therefore He is the source of all skill and efficiency. Again, He is the one who is the very creator and preserver of the whole universe, and He must be the most efficient manager and administrator among the living creatures. Number 426, Vistara, the extension. The Lord is named thus because in the time of Pralaya, in Him the entire universe of names and forms comes to reside with ample accommodation for all of them. The term Vistara can also mean manifestation, since the Lord manifests in Himself all the universe. Number 427, Stavara, Sthana, the firm and the motionless. The firm, Achanchala, indicates that He has no movements because He is all-pervading. Sthana, or motionless, means that He is fixed like the pillars that denote the frontiers of a country. The term terms here used are one word because the Lord is both these at one and the same time. He is not only all-pervading, but he is also without any locomotion. Both these terms indicate the all-pervasiveness of the Lord Vishnu. Number 428, Pramanam, the proof. He is the underlying principle of all intellectual arguments and for all scientific methodology, since he is the very consciousness behind all discussions. Lord Narayana is the very authority behind all dharmas, and hence he becomes the essential reality behind all. Number 429, Bijamavyayam, the immutable seed. Since the whole world has sprung from him, he is the indestructible and changeless cause of the world. It can also mean that without which the world can never be. Hence, he is the undecaying root of all things. Number 430, Artha, one who is worshipped by all, invoked by everyone. Lord Narayana is desired by all, as he is the Paramatma who is of the nature of bliss. Even the sensuous man running after the sense objects is seeking the Lord inasmuch as he is searching for bliss, which is the nature of the self. Number 431, Anartha, one to whom there is nothing that is yet to be fulfilled. This means one who has no desires, as he has fulfilled all his desires. So long as vasanas exist, desires manifest. Where vasanas have ended, there cannot be any desires, and that state is the state of self-realization. Number 432, Mahakosha, one who has got around him great sheaths. The self in us functions through the 5 sheaths, such as the food sheath, etc. Sri Narayana is one who, as the Lord of the universe, is conditioned by the macrocosmic sheaths of the universe, and therefore the great Ishvara is here indicated as Mahakosha. Number 433, Mahabhoga, one who is of the nature of enjoyment, he being of the nature of bliss. Also, he is the one from whom the greatest bliss can be gained by seekers. In short, the term indicates him as one who gives the greatest happiness to all those who are devoted to him. Number 434, Mahadhana, one who is supremely rich with the wealth of bliss which he can give to his devotees. Vishnu is one from whom his devotees gain great wealth. Number 435, Anirvina, one who has no nirveda. This term nirveda means the sense of disinterestedness that comes to the bosom of one who could not fulfill his passionate desires in life. The Lord is one who is griefless, as he has no desires to fulfill. In his fullness and perfection, he has no more desires to fulfill, and therefore Sri Hari has no occasion to suffer from the sense of nirveda. Number 436, Stavishta, one who is supremely gross, the entire cosmos being his form. He himself is the universe, and as such, in his total manifestation, he is supremely gross. The Gita says that the Lord spreads himself, covering the whole world and the atmosphere. The Upanishad also says how the sky forms his head, the sun and the moon are his eyes. Number 437, Abhu, one who has no birth, or the one having realized whom the seeker will no more have births. Some people dissolve the line Stavishta plus Bhu. In that case, instead of Abhu, they give the Lord the name Bhu, meaning earth. Just as the earth is the stage upon which the entire drama of life is being played, Sri Narayana is the substratum upon which the entire world of experiences is playing about. Number 438, Dharma Yupa. Yupa is the name given to the post to which the sacrificial animal is tied in a yaga. The Lord is the very post to which all dharmas or righteousness is tied. This means he is the very essence behind all righteousness. Number 439, Mahamaka, the great sacrificer. Because the sacrifices dedicated to him confer total liberation. Also in the Gita, we were told, offer is Brahman. What is offered is Brahman. The fate is Brahman. The offerer is Brahman. And the goal reached is also Brahman. Number 440, 440, Nakshatranami, the nave of the stars, one who is the nave around which all the stars and all the planets, including the sun, moon, and other planets, always move around. For this brilliant glowing wheel of light, Sri Narayana is the very axle. Number 441, Nakshatri, one who is the Lord of the stars. Lord of the stars is the moon. The Gita says, among the stars I am the moon. Number 442, Chama, one who is supremely efficient in all undertakings, one who has extreme patience with all the stupidities of his devotees. Number 443, Chama, one who ever remains without any scarcity. During the final deluge, all things in the world dissolve and perish away, but even then the Lord remains untouched by all distinction, and hence he is called Chama. Number 444, Samihana, one whose desires are auspicious. The Lord is considered as well-desiring, inasmuch as he desires the well-being of all his creatures at all times. He knows how to control and regulate his power of desiring, and thus he is extremely efficient in his creative activity. Number 445, Yajna, one who is of the nature of Yajna. All sacrifices are his own forms. He exists as sacrifice in order to satisfy men and gods. The Shruti says that all Yajnas are of the nature of Vishnu. Number 446, Ijya, one who is fit to be invoked through Yajnas. Lord Narayana is the only one who is being invoked in all Yajnas, even when the devotee particularly invokes any other deity. He being the infinite, all gods are expressions of his own glory, and therefore, irrespective of the deity invoked, all Yajnas are worship of Vishnu. In Harivamsha, we read a declaration which openly reveals this truth. They who worship through holy sacrifices, the Devas or the Pitris, they worship indeed Vishnu, the Self, through the Self. Number 447, Mahajya, one who is to be most worshipped, one who most certainly is to be invoked in every ritual, because all other Devatas invoked during the Yajnas can each fulfill the seeker's desires, but to invoke Sri Narayana is to invoke the only power that can supply complete liberation to the devotee. Therefore, he is the object of great sacrifice. Number 448, Kratu. It is a kind of yaga wherein there is a pillar to which the sacrificial animal is tied. Since all sacrifices are offered to him, that is, to the Lord, even Kratu, a sacrifice with violence inherent in it, is also Vishnu. Number 449, Satram, the Lord who protects the good. In continuation with the previous Kratu, when we read this, it can also be considered as indicating a particular kind of yajna described as Satram in our Vedic literature. Number 450, Satam Gati, one who is the refuge for the good people, one who is worshipped and invoked by those who wish to liberate themselves from all limitations in life. Gati in Sanskrit means both the path and the goal. Thus, through surrendering to Narayana alone does one reach Sri Narayana. And this brings us to the end of names 401 through 450 of the Vishnu Sahasranama.